Let me stop you right there. Let me just remind you that everything is subjective. My opinion is my own. You have your own opinion about video games and what you do and do not like, and how you feel about certain games and certain companies. That being said, let's talk about Tears of the Kingdom. My name is Harrison. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe, like this video. We're on our road to 500 subscribers, which is crazy. So I really appreciate all the support. But yeah, let's talk about Tears of the Kingdom and why I think it's going to be the best open world of all time. So I don't think my opinion is necessarily uncommon, but I feel like open world games have gotten really stale in the last, I don't know, five or 6 years, or maybe even beyond that. And maybe we have the Ubisoft effect. Maybe we can blame, Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, of climbing up to the tower, getting rid of the fog of war, unlocking all of these icons on the map, and then you go from there and you do more exploration and stuff like that. And it feels like open world games, for the most part, have been doing that for so long, and we haven't seen much improvement or variation or kind of like innovation in like the open world genre. We get a lot of open worlds, everything from like a racing game to Halo Infinite, with their open world. You've got stuff like GTA that's kind of dominated the charts for a decade now. Um, so open world games are still vibrant, and they're still, people, they're still so popular. But again, I feel like a lot of them have gotten very stale. And then came Breath of the Wild, right? Breath of the Wild came out, and it was a breath of fresh air, right? It was a game that didn't necessarily hold your hand. They gave you a pretty large starting zone to get acclimated with the controls and how the game worked, and showed you that you need to craft stuff, and you could cut trees, and you could burn stuff to create like an updraft. It taught you what you needed to know about the game to survive in this open world. And then it takes the reins off, and you can do and go wherever you want. Yeah, it did have like the towers you would climb and stuff like that, but the game wasn't boggled down with all of these millions of different icons on the map and on the screen at all times. You would see something in the distance, and you'd say, "Hey, that's really cool. I want to go there. That looks like it could be a shrine, or maybe that's a Korok puzzle or something like that, or what is that? Like what is over in the distance?" And then you could pinpoint stuff on the map. And I know I'm kind of already reiterating what's been told and been played, 6 years ago when Breath of the Wild came out. And to my point of why I think Tears of the Kingdom is going to be the best open world game of all time, is because Breath of the Wild felt like a tech demo. It felt like a giant sandbox that didn't quite have all of its tools ready to go. It had, it had all the fun stuff to do, had the climbing, it had the weapon degradation and all that stuff. And Tears of the Kingdom, and granted, I know the game's not out yet. I've gotten those comments before. I know the game's not out yet. We don't know how the game is going to run. I think that's my biggest concern at this point, is how it's going to run, right? But you got to remember, Breath of the Wild ran on the Wii U. It was developed for the Wii U and was ported to the Switch, right? So this is the real test of how this game will run. And granted, the Switch is 2015-year-old tech, right? It came out in 2017, but it's really about 2015 tech. So this is going to be the true power of the Switch. This is going to be, I think, it's going to be the biggest showcase of the Switch. And I know the Switch is not powerful, and that's not what I'm defending. But I have faith in Nintendo and what they can do. Now, they obviously, they fail a lot of the times. Sometimes they fail, maybe not all the time, but they have had their misses in the past, with their stuff. Bayonetta 3 had some issues with frame rate. I think that game was supposed to be bigger than it was, and they had to kind of backtrack a little bit and make it a little bit smaller than maybe what they had wanted it to be. Obviously, stuff like Pokemon, you know, is that the fault of the Switch, or is that the fault of the Pokemon Company and Game Freak? You know, maybe they just need more time. So I know that's been a conversation of, you know, Pokemon ran like crap, Tears of the Kingdom's going to run like crap. We need a new Switch. And granted, I do want a new Switch. Of course I do. I would love to play a new Switch with Tears of the Kingdom, but we're not going to get that at this time of launch. But yeah, I think all the stuff that made Breath of the Wild amazing, and it's regarded as regarded as the best Zelda game of all time, and one of the greatest games of all time, one of the greatest open worlds of all time, and its freedom that it gives you, and just all the stuff that we've seen with Tears of the Kingdom. How could you not think that? All of the crafting abilities we have now with Ultra Hand and Fuse, being able to create our own vehicles and flying mechanisms, and just all the creativity we get to do in this huge sandbox, in this huge, you know, in this game where we can go into this, we can go into the sky, we can go underground, we've got the surface. I mean, there's just so much to do, and I kind of feel bad, and I know this is not necessarily a great thing to say, but I feel bad for people that are not excited for this game, or are still calling it $70 DLC, where this game has been in development for more or less 6 years. You know, yes, it's the same map, right? It's the same map. You know, and that's fine, but they've added so much to it and so much gameplay mechanics. And again, we get to go into the sky and underground. You know, no one had this conversation with God of War. You know, going from God of War 2018 to Ragnarok, that was a lot of the same assets, a lot of the same map. That was, you know, granted, you know, what they were redone for Ragnarok, but nobody said that was $70 DLC. So, you know, why is it Nintendo? Why is it Zelda that we're coming after? So, again, I think Breath of the Wild set the bar. It has set that precedence of an incredible game, that now that we're seeing what Tears of the Kingdom has to offer again, it looks and feels like a tech demo. And what we've seen with Tears of the Kingdom just looks incredible. They're adding so much stuff, and we don't even know probably half of it, because they've kept everything so close to their chest. And yeah, I'm truly excited. And again, I know I am a Nintendo fanboy. I love a lot of their stuff, but I'm mainly a Zelda fanboy, and I've just loved everything about this franchise and where they've gone with it. And Tears of the Kingdom just looks that good. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, it could be the best open world game to date. You know, it's hard to say the greatest of all time, because obviously, you know, in 10 years from now, you know, I'm not saying that anything won't match Zelda in 10 years from now, but in 10 years from now, we'll have, you know, another Zelda that could potentially be even better, right? So, not going to call it the greatest of all time, but probably the greatest up to date. So, let me know in the comments below if you agree with me. I've had people say that I was delusional because of my opinion of Zelda and thinking it's going to be that good, but for a game I haven't played, and I understand I haven't played it, and no one has yet, right? I think we are supposed to be getting previews here maybe on Wednesday, but that being said, I'm still excited. I'm still ready for it, and I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. Hope you guys enjoyed this video of me rambling about Zelda, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'll let YouTube algorithm pick one of my videos below for you guys to watch. Give it a click, and I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.